Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. I'm Angelika, and yeah, we're going to be doing a journal today, a junk journal. I have been away for about a week, week and a half. That's because last weekend we went to the RV show on Thursday, and then on Saturday we went to the nursery, Bluegrass Nursery. And so I was working on that video. I decided this year I'm going to put in more effort into editing. So that is my guinea pig video. So I don't know when it's going to come out. Like I said, it's my guinea pig. If I make mistakes, I don't know. I'm going to have to save it somewhere where it won't get affected and just use a copy and then edit the copy. And if I mess up, I can retrieve another copy kind of thing. So I don't know. It could take months. It could take a week. I don't know. But I am trying to work on that one. And hopefully I'll get more comfortable with editing. So today we're going to do my junk journal, this one. I did mention when I showed it to you, I don't know, in the past, I did mention that I would show you how I made it. Now, the way I put it together, you don't have to. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I did the cover and how I inserted each section. But the next one is going to be a little different because I made a boo-boo. If you remember, I said I had punched 3 circles, but then because you do it on the other side, you could see right through. So basically I had to cover it. Well, on this next one, that's going to be a mistake I learned from, and I won't be doing that. So these will get put in, glued on this side of the booklet. And then that way you'll have a pouch in the back. The pouch will go for this side and the other side. It will be open, but that's up to you. If you don't want to use it as a pocket, then don't. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll show you how I put, and we'll do this properly. Instead of having this straight out, we're going to flip it around. We're going to cut it, flip it, and then glue it on. So, like, I learned from my mistake on this one. And so we're going to do the next one better. And of course, I'm going to find mistakes on that one. So every time you do one, you improve on it. Like this one, I had kept pretty much the full sheet. I maybe cut off the top 1 inch, which I don't know that I want it this big. So I might not use these envelopes. Instead of using these envelopes, I may use just regular paper, and then it would then be 8.5 by 11, right? So that's your page, which is 8.5 by 11. So we might go 9 inch by 11.5 inch. And then that way, if this is 8.5, the cover for it, in order to do these attachments, I would choose 9 inch. Then the folder can be 9.5 inch. And then it won't be so big. Also, I had a dilemma because of the pretty picture. Oh, this one looks like it might be crooked. The pretty paper, right? The paper is really pretty, and I didn't want to cut too much off. But on the next one, I'm going to use either geometric shaped paper, or I'll use solid cardstock, solid colors, and then you'll have to decorate it because it's not using the pretty paper. I just really hated to cut it off. I wanted to see the prettiness. So anyways, that's going to be today's video. We are going to recreate this minus the boo-boos, like make it a little nicer. All right, so now to make this journal, step 1, we do the cover, right? So, cover and all the pages inside. Now, I went through 3 of my scrapbooking pads. Hold on. All right, and then we have this. Now I went through 3, like all my scrapbooking paper. Like these are all scrapbooking paper, and I've chosen it to take that route. It's because you want the journal to be stable. Now, for the inside pages, you really don't have to. Let me show you. For these in here, you don't have to. You could just use regular paper. This is a envelope. It's a big brown envelope, right? So it is pretty flimsy. So you could use that, and it's fine. As long as the structure is cardstock, because it's the structure that is what's going to hold it together, right? So we're doubling up the cardstock. Now, if you don't want to use cardstock on the inside, you don't have to, right? But on the outside, you definitely want to use cardstock. So I want to try, because I've done one where the cover is cardstock, but the insert is not. It's just pages. I want to see how thick it's going to get if we use cardstock. Plus, with this one, I'm probably going to end up giving it away. Whereas mine, I have like the phone log I put inside. I have my exercise thing. I have that nutrition booklet, the grocery list, nutrition thingamajig. This thing, which I put inside. I have my exercise in there. I have my receipts and my budget. So not everybody is going to be including that much stuff in them, right? For some people, it'll just be their agenda and then a to-do list, and that's it, right? So, yeah, let's try it with cardstock. So I got the cover. I chose to do this as the cover, which we can decorate. And then we can put this and this one on the inside. Now, I could have done it this way so the cover is beautiful. But don't forget, we're cutting it down. So I'd rather have the loss. Like some of them are the whole page. This one is fine to cut. Actually, some of these are fine to cut down. Basically, what I wanted to say is you need 7 sheets for the cover and then 12 for the inside, 2 times 12. Because you're going to be putting these together like that. And then that's going to be 1 month's worth. So it'll have a tab saying, like, let's say January. Then you're going to open it up. And that's going to be your to-do list and your budget. And then in here is going to be your journal pages. So again, if you don't want to have a to-do list and all that, you just want your journal pages, well then just do one of these 12, a 7 and a 12, and that's it. And then we're going to put this, you know, you can put it this way if you want. And that way you can use this as your to-do, right? And that'll be the nice cover. And it'll say January, you know, February, March, April, May, June, that kind of thing, right? And that's pretty too. And it's a basic journal. And then if you want, you could do this side a to-do. And then on this side, you could have your accounting sheets. And then maybe when you put it in, if there's a pocket, you could put the actual receipts behind it. So we could, actually, you know what? I'm thinking maybe we should do that for this one. Because it's not mine. Mine, I like it to be busy and have everything in one place. But someone else might not. So you know what? We're going to do that. And I like this vintage paper. And then for the cover, I love this paper though. Look at this. It's just so vintagey. Like, it's so cool. Of course, you mix them up. And there's your 7 sheets for your cover. But then this won't go, the floral. I'd have to use this to go on the inside, which I think would be really pretty too. All right. I'm going to do that. No florals. We'll keep these for another one. Yeah, we're going to go with these two. And I'll leave this for another journal. So we're just going to do the 7 sheets. That's the cover. And we're going to do the 12 sheets that are going to be one for each month. All right. So I got my 7 pages, which is for the cover. I got my 12 pages, which is one for each month. With the inserts, there's 26 weeks in a year, but I did 30 copies, and they're 2-sided. Now this one I get from my Word program. I spent the time setting up on my Word program basically that. So then I printed one to make sure it turned out, and then I printed 29 more. So there are 30 pages. Then I stuck it in my printer in such a way so it would print on the other side. Now that you'll have to see by your printer, whether you have to flip it or whether you don't have to. And then you print on the other side. I do one to make sure it printed on the right side, that I got it right and it's properly aligned again. And then I do 29 more. So there are 30 pages here. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's too much. I just figured 26 weeks in a year. Let's do 30, because on some months, the day will start on this side. The month will start on this side, on one of these 4 days. So then this we don't use. On other months, the back we might not use, but the month may end somewhere in here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or no, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This is notes. So one of these. But if it ends on one of these days, then we need this side anyways, right? We are only going to mark the 1st and the 31st of every month. The rest we're not going to fill in, but we're going to make it pretty. That we'll do later on, probably in the next video. But like I said, I got 30 pages. Everything's been folded in half. Now be careful when you fold it in half. I tried to use my score thing, but it doesn't have a guide on the one side. So I will be replacing this one. See, when your scoreboard, and it's a cutter. Well, the scoreboard, it doesn't have a lip on this side. See, there's no lip. There should be a lip. I've seen ones that have a lip. So I have to put it by the cut line, and then it goes 12 inches. I am going to be replacing this with one that does have a lip on this side, just like the top and bottom, so that you can put the paper snug up against it. You can look for your 6-inch and then mark it, right? Also, another thing with this one, I don't know if it's because the grooves are too deep, or maybe I just went too hard with my scoring tool, but it did crack some of the paper. So if you use a scoreboard, be careful. And this one is the worst one. This is my first one I did. See right here? It ripped. So I'm not too worried about it. You can tell all along here too. It kind of cracked, and you can see there's like an edge on it. See, there's like a raggedy edge on it. It's just the quality of the paper. It could be the scoring. So it cracked the paper. But it doesn't matter to me. It's not as if I'm selling these, right? If you're selling them, well, then you want to be more careful. But yeah, so it ripped. But I do have to cut it down because these are the covers for these pages. So I'm going to have to, you give a little space. I'm going to be cutting it down to here anyways. And this, so the rip here, it doesn't matter, right? Because I'm going to be cutting above it in order to cover these pages. But I ended up with all the others just folding them. It's easy. You're just folding them in half. And some of them look a little ragged. Some of them folded really nicely. But because it's cardstock, it's a thicker paper. Some of it will get damaged. When you fold it, make sure that everything is upright the way you want it. Like here. Also, when there's writing, read it. I haven't read these yet. I'm assuming it's about travel, so it should be fine. But I am going to have to scan my eye through it and make sure that it is okay, whatever is being written on here. But you know what I mean? Like, you just want to make sure that this one's generic. It doesn't matter. And then that one, you got to make sure you have it the right side up. Now, when and the same thing applies to your covers too, right? You want to make sure that it's right side up. Now, these are pretty generic. So you can choose. Like this one has writing, even though it's fake writing. It's what they call, I think they just call it fake writing. There's no words, but there is the letter M. Because of the letter M, I decided to put it this way. Now on this one, because of the brick, I did it this way. This one, I wanted to go the other direction, but the problem with the other direction, see right here, when the machine cut it, it printed and cut. See, there's a lip on here. It's part of the next sheet. So I didn't want that. Otherwise, this would have been a lot nicer up and down like that. But because of this, I chose to go the other way. And then when I cut this down, I'll cut this side of it. So just, look at it. That one, there was nothing there. Oh, this one, I chose because of the drip lines. See, they printed drip lines on this one. Everything goes with gravity. It runs downwards, right? So that's why this one I chose. But I would have anyways, because look at the pattern, right? It looks better this way as opposed to this way. This way, all the lighter color would be on one side. So it does look better this way. But I just wanted to show you, when you have run lines, you want to take that into consideration. This one didn't matter. And what about this one? Oh yeah, this one I had a choice. I could have done it this way, right? Which I was thinking of it, but I don't know, like the edge being darker and all the lighter would be towards the middle of the page. I thought it'd be nicer if that is the page spread. Same with here. Mind you, when I go to cut it, I might, depending how much I have to cut it, I may do like 1 inch here and 1 inch here. So these are all things that you got to think about when you're putting it together, depending on the sheets you have. Like if you have a floral, I didn't keep one of the florals out, did I? when you have florals and birds, like I did on this one, see, I didn't want to cut the bird, the birdhouse, and the fence. Like this fence shows it's on the grass, and that is the whole picture. Up here, I ended up cutting off some flowers and stuff, but I was okay with that because I didn't want to lose this. Now, depending on the pattern, well, this one, you can only see the flowers underneath. But depending on the pattern on the paper, see here, I positioned this so that I could still see the butterfly and the flower. So when you have patterned paper, you have to take into account, I think this one, I did a little on the bottom and a little on the top. Just so that I would have, you know, the full effect. This is more abstract, so there's less things I have to look for. Anyway, so that is your paper. Folded, and then make sure you have it upright. When you fold it, you make sure that it's upright the way you want it. So now this is going to be my cover. So you're going to take these other sheets. I'm going to lay them down. And then you're going to take them. I'll do it this way so you can see. And you're going to put it like this. Right? And then the next one is going to go like that. So basically you're making an accordion. So this paper is overlapping one side of both of those. And then the next one will overlap this page. So now this page is overlapping half of one page and half of the other page. And the same with that one. And you're going to have 3 pages on one side and 3 on the other. I need one more. There. So that is the main part of your accordion. You got 1, 2, 3 folds on this side, and then you have 1, 2, 3 folds on this side. You do have the extra page here, and you have an extra page on this side. And that's where the 7th page comes in. You're going to cut this in half. So half of it is going to be in here, and the other half is going to be in with this one, so that every one is doubled up. But I don't want to put them together because we don't know what size these are going to end up. So for now, that 7th page, I'm just putting my accordion into the 7th page, clip it, and put it to the side, because until we make these booklets and measure it, we don't know what this is going to be. It's all based on this one, which you're going to make this the size for this one. Then put it all together. Then once this is together, you will then measure this with this, and then you'll know where to cut these. I don't do exact measurements. I just, I just find it easier this way, right? Now, you can do it the way you want. I'm going to show you how to put this in here and how to put this into the cover. But once you put this into this, you can then start decorating it. Not as in embellishments, but as in, if you want to do a to-do list, you would make your to-do list and then attach one to each month where you want it. If you want an accounting sheet, you would make your little accounting sheet booklets, 12 of them, and then you would put one for each month. But you can do that once the booklets are made, or you can do the whole accordion and then put stuff in according to the size it is, right? Depending how much bulk, right? So for now, we're going to leave these pages. We're going to take one out, for measuring. And then the others we're going to put to the side. And this is the paper we're going to use to measure. So now I'll take one that's not broken and we're going to measure. So if you wanted to, according to this, you could take a sliver off here. And then that way the tab you're going to put on here will stick out maybe at like that 1/2 inch. I think that's about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's about a 1/2 inch lip. So you could take the 1/2 inch off. No, you would do a 1/4 of an inch because you do want it to cover these pages, right? So I'm not going to take any of this off. I don't remember what I did with mine. But then again, mine was an envelope too. And I believe I cut these pages down, didn't I? Hold on, let me just check here. Yes, I cut down this page a bit. I took half of the white space away. And then you would take this much away from this one. Because you do want this to be bigger than this. And then because this is a 12 by 12 and so is the cover, you don't want this sticking out of the cover. So this has to be cut down. And then you want to be able to see your tab. Where am I here? Okay, we don't want to go into January. Here. See, I had cut them down. See, this is how wide it is here. And then here, you can see. So I guess I should be cutting this down. You don't want to go right up to the line because if you look through the paper, you can see the days of the week are right there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So you want to go, oh, I boo-booed. I'm missing a line there, a piece of the line. But anyways, you don't want to go all the way. You want to go out a little bit. But you would have to, you wouldn't be able to take a ruler and an X-Acto knife and do it because it's not as precise. You're better off doing it with a cutter. Because that's the only way you can measure how much you're cutting. With this, you can see how much it's going to be cut off. So it's a lot of tedious work when you start putting this together. But in the end, you have a beautiful product, right? So I'm not going to open this up. I'm going to leave it. But see now, if I would leave this the way it is, maybe just take a sliver off here. So when I put it in here, see, it's the same length and you don't want that. Plus you want room for the tab, right? For these tabs. See, this is in about 1 inch. And then the tab's a 1/2 inch and it leaves a 1/2 inch here, which is the accordion. Which also, because the envelope is in 1 inch, oh, I left this the exact same size as the, what's this? Oh, here it is. See? The pages in the brown envelope are the same size. See there? So I had cut them both down to that size. I wonder if it's a 5-inch. Where's my ruler? My little one. Yeah, I had cut it to 5 inches. Both of them are at 5 inches. Which makes sense, right? Because if it's at 5, when you fold a 12 by 12, it's 6 inch. So that 1 inch difference would be half an inch for a tab and then a half inch just to have a gap. All right, so sorry, but I guess we are cutting the pages, both pages down to 5 inches. All right, so this is why you're supposed to measure. There you go. Oh, my lordy. So that means you have to cut. I'm going to have to open this up now because I can't do it this way. Oh, I guess I could. Yeah, just set it to 5 inches and then just cut. Oh, there you go. So I only have to do it 30 times. All right, so we're going to cut this to 5 inches. And then we will measure this. How much is that? Okay, so we have it to the cutting spot because I don't have that thing on that side. So there. And then we're going to put this paper up against it. So we could do 9 inch. So all the width this way on both of them will be 5 inch. And then the height will be 9 inch. We're going to cut off the 3 inches off of the cover of these pages. All right, so I'll do that off camera. And I don't think I need to do it on camera. I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to save, it doesn't matter, both top and bottom look good. So I'll put this at the 9 inch mark. And yes, I have with a Sharpie, I have them all marked, the inches. So there it is. That you're going to save because you're going to use it when we decorate it. So that's 9 inches. Oh, and I have to do 5 inches this way. You can do 5 1/4 if you want. Now let's do 5. 5 1/4. No, because of the tab. You don't want the tab to get destroyed, right? So I don't have the 5 inches marked. I'm going to mark the 5 inch. I have a Sharpie here. Okay, the 5 inch is on this one. This is a fine Sharpie. The other markings, these were done with the fat one, and this one is with the ultra fine point, which I might be wrecking my points by doing it this way with this one, but whatever. So there's the 5 inch. We make sure it's butted up against there. And we have it at the 5 inch. Cut it. Again, keep this. They can be page borders. And then once we put it in there, it fits that way. Oh, see, it sticks out a bit. So maybe this one should be just under the 5 inch. I'll go to the next notch. Make sure it's even. So the 5-inch down one notch is the pages, and the 5-inch will be the covers. And there you go. Perfect finish. And then, so I'll cut all these 9-inch by 5-inch. I'll cut all these 5-inch minus one notch on here. And then we'll go to the next step. I'll be back. I just finished dinner. We had a lovely dinner, took a break, and now I'm back. So what I discovered was when I printed these pages, I had done 30 pages. Well, because I'm doing this generic, it's not specific to me, and I found it very much a nuisance to figure out for each month how many pages I needed. So what I decided to do with this one, and I had to print more pages, is to put 3 pages per booklet. So 3 pages is a total of 6 weeks. But remember, it's the back, the front is the end of the week, and then in the back is the beginning of the week. So that one won't be used, and it'll be somewhere in here that you'll actually be using it. Now for these, I can always put something over it, right? I could put a washi tape kind of thing, or a strip of colored paper, and then you can still use these lines. Or I could put like a part of a book page in this corner, even make it like a pocket, and then just put a flower right here. Like, these pages can be decorated, right? Once you know where the 1st and the 30th or 31st or whatever, where they land, you can always adjust them. So I did 3 pages per month. Each booklet is 1 month. So I did print up 6 more because I had 30. So I did 6 more, make 36. No, actually I did 10 more. So I have extras over there in the file. So now that I have 3 pages with 1 cover, I now have to bind them all. So I did this one. So I'll bind it. You can leave it dangle, and each month you could have, you know, like maybe zodiac signs if you like zodiac, or you know, whatever, and just have a bunch of dangles down here. Or you could just do it like this. I was thinking of maybe just leaving it with a knot and cut it, and then just leave it like that. You know, whatever you want. Now, as for the binding, you coordinate the color with what you have. Like, if you look at what I have, I've got the purple, I've got blue, I've got green with yellow, I've got the beige, the white, the brown. You know, you can just coordinate. What I decided to do is just to, because I have so much of this, I'm hoping this will be enough to do all of them. The color coordinates. So all the bindings is going to be this. If I don't have enough, I do have a darker brown. I have black. And then I pulled out some lighter brown, like a beigey kind of. And then I pulled out white. Black and white is neutral. So if you have a certain color and there's not enough of it, you could just compensate with black or white, or white. But I am going to start with this, and hopefully it will do all of them. I've already done 1, and I'm threaded for another. So this has to last for 10. And I'm sure it will. But we'll see. Anyways, I also wanted to mention, if you didn't want to do this accordion style, you could take your 12 booklets, take a pretty gift bag, or even just cardstock. But then you'd probably have to make it smaller. And then you could just bind them in that. And then that becomes your booklet if you have a pretty bag. This one's too shiny and it's blue and white. It's not the right color. But I just wanted to show you as an example, you could do that. What you would do is just cut around here and just use this one, right? And then you could cut off the handle part, like just below the hole, so you have a little extra. Or another thing you could do is you can take some colorful duct tape and then just put duct tape on here. No, that's not what I wanted to say. Hold on, I lied. It is another option. You could just do duct tape, or when you do the binding, you could have like 2 sets of holes here and 2 sets of holes here. So 4 holes, and then you would go down, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just do that and make, and hopefully, I don't know, I haven't figured it out, but hopefully after 12 of them, you end up down here, which is what you want. If not, I don't know how you would compensate for it. But hopefully you end here. Then you can go to the next 2 holes. And then again, back on that one, top to bottom on this one, bottom to top, top to bottom, 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 bottom to top. I started here, I ended here. So if you started like on these 2 holes, start here, and then you go into there, right? So you're coming out here. No, you're going in here, you're coming out here. Then the next one, you're going in there, out there, in, out, in, out. If you start down here, you should end down here. Then when you go here, you're going to go on this one first, but you're basically starting the 12 here, and then you're going that way and that way and that way. It should work out. You'd have to figure it out, but you could just bind the whole thing together in that way, you know, like 4 holes, and then you're going to go between these 2, then you're going to come down here and go between these 2, and then when you end, you're going to go back in here, which kind of keeps it together. And then all you would need, because this is tightly binded, you could just like glue it in here, or in a cardstock 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper, and go like this. It would be short because you're taking space here, so it would be a little shorter, but you can always add a strip on the front and the back, something decorative, you know, even if it's just like paper that's folded. You sew it on the machine and then glue it on. But you would have to compensate because it would be too short unless you cut this even shorter, right? So I just wanted to mention that there are different ways you can do this. I am choosing to do 2 for 1 section. Where is that paper? Oh, now I can't find it. See, if you look at here, I've got the September. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you on this one. I used purple, blue, pink, green, yellow. I used all colors on this one. It's up to you. Yeah, so in this booklet, I have 1 month here, and then I have another month here. So it opens here. See, this one tucked in this way, October, and September tucked in under here. Because when we glue the covers together, you'll have a tuck spot. And so you can, you know, that's why you do 2. That's why you only needed 6 pages, because you only needed 6 compartments, or 6 covers, I should say, because you're doing 2 per fold, right? So there's 3 here, 1, 2, 3, then it flips and you got 3 on the other side. Anyway, so it's 2 months per accordion, right? Um, so yeah, there's lots of ways, but for now, we're just going to bind the 12 of them, bind them all. And then we're going to compare their size to the covers. Now, as you know, and this was just an example, you can take any bag, you can take material, wrap it with material, and then bind it to the material, whatever. But there are, so then this way you'd have each tab, right? This would have a tab, this would have a tab, that would have a tab, and you can make it like January, February, March, and then the next one, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You can space them out, right? This is 9 inches. So if you need 6, you would do them 6 times 1 is 6 inches. So 1¼ inch. What would that be? 6 times 6 times 1¼ so that would be 7.5 inches, and then you'd have 3/4 of an inch top and bottom that's not being used, or something like that. Or you could use the gapping, so about 1.5 inches, did I say, or 1¼ inch, you'd have to measure it out, right? But because I'm only doing 2 booklets per accordion, I can do one here and then one down here. They have a bigger gap, right? Just like those. But I'm not going to do them as big as those. I do have another scalloped circle that's smaller, but that's later on. I also wanted to mention these papers. You don't have to print them on white paper. If you have coffee dyed paper, print it on coffee dye. If you have colored paper, print it on colored paper. The only thing is, if you're going to do these days of the week in a color and not in standard black, then you cannot print it on the same color paper unless it's a lot lighter, because the printer eye, if you're using a medium blue on here and you're printing it on a medium blue, it's not going to show. Plus, it might cause problems with the printer. They'll think it's already there because they're looking to print Thursday in that royal blue or medium blue, and it's already medium blue. So do you know what I mean? It could confuse the eye. So just make sure that they're like, if you're going to do blue writing, it's on yellow paper. Or if you're going to do green writing, maybe do it on a coffee dye paper or something like that. But I just did regular paper, and this is regular, like they go together. But then when you close it, you've got this nice antiquing. And of course you can decorate these too, right? So you could put on here coffee dyed paper if you wanted to. Anyway, so there's lots of options. Now, as you know, I have this little chart that I go by. It's my 6 steps in making a journal. So we are doing right now these 2, cover and pages. So the pages would be this, and the cover, well, this is a cover, and this is also a cover. So we're having 2 different types of covers, right? Because 2 of these is going to be going in here. So it's a cover, it's a booklet in a cover. So we got 2 covers, and we got the pages. So then once all this is done and put together, we then go to pockets, tucks, windows, belly bands, and that's also where I'm going to put the accounting papers, the to-do list, and all that stuff. It's going to be during this time. And then if I do put pockets and tucks, I then would do the ephemera. Otherwise, I would jump over to embellishments, right? So that's why I love pulling this out when I'm doing a project. So it's usually sitting here on my laptop, because I don't use the mouse on the laptop. I have my attached mouse here. Oh, it just messed up the screen there. And then I do use the keyboard, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. But so now we are binding all of these, right? I am going to bind them all off camera. And then we're going to take one of these and we're going to measure it to here. Oh no, we're going to put tabs on it. That's next, tabs. Or, well, it really doesn't matter. We just got to see how much we have to cut off, right? Now, if we're going to be gluing this inside of here, right? It's going to go in here like that. Hold on. Got to do the visual thing. Okay, so once this is all glued in, we're going to be sliding this in here. And then that's going to be, so the tab would be on this side. And then this one, the back cover, is going to go in here. And the tab will be down here. So these are the two tabs and they go in like that. So when you put them in, you have to remember that you're going to have a strip of glue here. So you have to give it a little bit of room so that you can do the strip of glue and still have room for the booklet. Same up here too, because that's what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be gluing the top and the bottom. We're not gluing any of the sides, top and bottom only, because here you don't need it because it's the wrap over, right? That's why we wrapped it over to make the accordion. It seals that side. So this side stays open so that you can put things inside. So, yeah. So we got to measure here how much we want to cut off. And it looks like to me 3 inches would be too low. So I'd probably cut off 2 inches. You can even do 1.5 if you wanted to. Just to give enough room to glue. Because some of you are going to be gluing. I'm not. I am going to, on my other one I did, on the original. This one. I glued and I was not happy with it. They do come apart. I don't know. I just wasn't happy with it. Yeah. So for this other one, mind you, it does hold it together really well. They're not separating. And I think I used the silicone one, the fabric fix, or what do you call it? But on this one, I'd like to use this because it uses up a lot less space. I just don't know if it's as strong to hold this. Now, mind you, this is not heavy, right? So I could probably get away with this, which means this could come down a little bit more if I wanted to. But if this doesn't work, I can always go back in and put silicone glue, right? So, yeah, so what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to finish binding all these booklets. And then I think I'm going to cut the 2 inches off. I can always cut more, but I can't put back, right? Anyways, I'll let you know what I ended up doing. I think 2 inches would be fine. So then this would end up being 10 by 12 because you take off 2 inches from the top. So instead of it being 12 by 12, it will be 10 by 12. And I don't mind this gap here because don't forget, I'm going to have a tab here that's going to stick out probably like 1/2 inch. All right. So I'll bind this and I'll cut this down and then I'll come back and I'll explain to you the choice I made and why. and then we'll put this cover together. Oh yeah, this doesn't belong on there. This is the part we got to cut. And then once we cut off the top and we know all the sizes, we then can cut this down the middle here. And then it can be glued to this side and to this side. Right? Because they're left white. Everything else is colored except this and this. And that's where this one goes. See, it's going to look like that. But this is going to be completely glued down. But I'll do that with you guys. I don't know how long the video is at this point. I may do a part 1 and a part 2. But like I said, I will bind it. I will cut these down. And then I'll come back. All right. Okay, I just looked at the clips I have up till now, and the clips are almost an hour. It's like 53 minutes or something. So I will say goodbye on this clip, and I hope you're enjoying this project, and I will do a part 2, and I may post them on the same day. I might post them on the next day. I'm not sure, but there will be a part 2 to finish this accordion. I'm just trying to give you a lot of ideas along the way, because not everybody's going to want to do it the same way. Not everybody has the same papers. You know what I mean? So I hope you're enjoying this, this project and my accordion project. And, remember, do what makes you happy and everything else will fall into place. And please, if you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up, like the video, consider subscribing, comment down below, and all that fun stuff. All right, everybody, take care. Bye for now.